Third Industrial Revolution. In continuation with the series on Industry 4.0, today's video is on Third Industrial Revolution. We have seen that the first industrial revolution, known as the age of mechanical production, started around 1770, and the second industrial revolution, called the age of science and mass production, started around 1870s. These led to mass production of automobiles, airplanes, and many more advances in the field of electricity, telecommunication, and so on. Current era which we are living in is the third industrial revolution, also called as the digital revolution, began around 1950s, and this is transforming into fourth industrial revolution. Third industrial revolution led to major inventions such as automations, programmable logic controllers, information technology, internet, nuclear energies, new broadcasting tools, and computerization of entire world. We should be knowing that the innovations and industrial revolutions are shaped through interdependencies between the firms, technologies, and industries. And this digital technology is marked as the age of information. Many key tools which form a base for this third industrial revolution is the widespread use of digital logic, MOSFETs or transistors, IC chips, and the inventions that are derived from these technologies are computers, microprocessors, phones, and the internet. These technological innovations have transformed traditional production and business techniques into a new digital world. The basic building block of this digital revolution is the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, also called as MOSFET or MOS transistor, which is most widely manufactured device in the history. It is the basis of every microprocessor, microchip, and telecommunication circuit. So let's discuss the beginning of third industrial revolution. The first working germanium-based point contact transistor was first invented in 1947. This led the way to more advanced digital computers. During late 1940s, universities and researchers developed computer systems to digitally perform mathematical calculations, with the Leo being the first commercial general-purpose computer. Many other important technological developments during Third Industrial Revolution include the invention of monolithic integrated circuit IC chip in 1959 and the first successful metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor MOSFET or MOS transistor at Bell Labs in 1959. And the development of the complementary MOS process in 1963. MOS chips reached higher transistor density and lower manufacturing cost than bipolar integrated circuits by 1964. Further, MOS chips increased in complexity, leading to large-scale integration (LSI) with hundreds of transistors on a single MOS chip by late 1960s. This MOS LSI chips application to computing was the basics for the first microprocessor, as the engineers began recognizing that a complete computer processor could be contained on a single MOS LSI chip. In 1968, MOS technology was improved with the development of silicon gate MOS chip, which later was used to develop Intel 4004, the first single chip microprocessor released by Intel in 1971. And this laid the foundations for the microcomputer revolution that began in 1970s. The main factor which led to invention of internet was mainly because these technologies were introduced to the public. During 1970s, packet switch networks such as ARPANET, Cyclades, Merit Network, TimeNet and Telenet were first developed using variety of protocols for internet working. And by 1970s, the home computers and time-sharing computers were introduced. Similarly, the video games. The first arcade video game was Space Invaders. As the digital technology emerged to switch from analog to digital, record keeping became the new job creation and was popularized as the data entry post. In developing nations during the 1980s, computers made their way into schools, homes, business, and industries. Millions of people purchased home computers from computer manufacturers such as Apple, Commodore, and Tandy. To this date, the Commodore 64 is often cited as the best-selling computer of all time, having sold 17 million units between 1982 and 1994. By the late 1980s, many businesses were dependent on computers and digital technology. Coming to another key element of third industrial revolution is the invention of mobile phones. The first mobile phone was introduced by Motorola in 1983. However, this device used analog communication. Digital phones were not sold commercially until 1991. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. Initially, for the first 2 years, the World Wide Web was only available to the government and universities. In 1991, the World Wide Web became publicly accessible. In 1993, the first web browser, Mosaic, was introduced, and this was the basics for later browsers such as Netscape Navigator and Internet Explorer. In October 1994, Stanford Federal Credit Union was the first financial institution to offer online internet banking services to all of its members. In 1996, OP Financial Group, a cooperative bank, became the second online bank in the world and first in Europe for online internet banking services. The internet expanded quickly, and by 1996, it was part of mass culture and many businesses started listing their websites in their ads. By the year 1999, almost every country had internet connection. Cell phones became as important as computers by early 2000. They also became much more advanced apart from calls, having simple game features. The digital revolution became truly global in this time as the digitalization spread in almost all the countries. By 2005, the population of internet users reached to 1 billion, and by the end of 2010, 3 billion people use cell phones, and by 2012, 2 billion people used the internet, twice the number using it in 2007. By 2016, half of the world's population was connected, and as of 2020, that number has risen to 67%. This shows that the third industrial revolution has not only affected the industries but almost all the individuals in the world. In upcoming video, I am going to share the effects of third industrial revolution. Subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any videos.